The tighter you hold on, the more everything slips away. But when you loosen your grip, that's when the magic begins. Pause for a few seconds and ask yourself, what are you trying to control in your life? A relationship that's falling apart? A dream that hasn't come true? Or perhaps yourself, with all the expectations you believe you must fulfill? We grow up in a world that tells us, the more effort, the more control, the more likely we are to achieve success, love, and recognition. But here's the paradox. The harder you try to hold on, the more exhausted you feel. The more you chase, the further everything runs. I'm not saying you should give up. You might be fighting in the wrong direction. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman philosopher emperor, once wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" Epictetus affirmed, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This is not an empty theory. It's a compass to live lightly yet firmly, to live intentionally without trying to control, to live mindfully without clinging. In today's video, you will transform from force to flow, from anxiety to freedom, from exhaustion to ease, and you will understand. Letting go is not surrender. It is believed that the best things come when you no longer hold on so tightly. Why do we end up empty-handed the more we try to control? Have you noticed that throughout life, we always try to control everything? We want others to love us the way we want. We want the work to go as planned. We want the world to operate according to our expectations. And every time life deviates from the blueprint in our minds, we feel confused, angry, and even broken. Why is that? Because deep down, we believe that if we control tightly enough, we will be safe. We've been programmed since childhood. Work hard, manage time, control emotions, avoid mistakes, own the outcome. None of these is wrong, but here's the blind spot. The world does not operate on our terms. The more we try to hold everything in our hands, the more tired we become. The painful truth is that what we cling to most is usually what we're most afraid to lose. That fear makes us tense up and freeze, and keeps our minds in a constant state of subtle anxiety. The boomerang effect of control. Let me tell you a little story. I used to be obsessed with the perfect plan. I mapped out every step of my life, career, relationships, reputation, finances, milestones, and details. I thought, if I control everything precisely, I'll succeed. No one can hurt me. At first it worked. Everything went according to plan. Until something unexpected happened, a family crisis. Everything I tried to hold together like a house of cards collapsed within weeks. I realized a painful but fundamental truth. Control doesn't make you safe. It only keeps you in a constant state of tension and alertness. What does Stoicism say about this? Stoicism doesn't teach us to give up. It teaches us to distinguish between, clearly, things within our control, our thoughts, actions, choices, and reactions. Things outside our control, other people's behavior, outcomes, others' emotions, unexpected events, time, and even death. Epictetus wrote, "We are not disturbed by events, but by our views." And he emphasized, what makes for freedom is focusing only on what is within our control. When we truly understand this, we no longer need to grasp everything. We live more mindfully, respond more wisely, and begin to feel lighter, shifting from control to awareness. The question is, what are you trying to control that you should observe and accept? A past relationship that cannot be fixed? An outcome you're expecting at work? Or someone else's emotions, something you can never truly touch? The more you resist reality, the more exhausted you become. But when you pause and admit, I cannot control this, you will feel something precious, inner freedom. In summary, humans try to control because we think it protects us. But over-controlling causes exhaustion, anxiety, and disconnection from the present. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish clearly between what we can and cannot control. When we shift from control to awareness, we don't weaken, we become stronger. Are you ready to move on to the next part? There we will dissect Stoic thinking, where you will understand why letting go is not just liberation, but the most innovative way to live in a chaotic world. The Stoic philosophy, the power of letting go at the right place. In the modern world where speed, achievements, and control measure everything, letting go is often misunderstood as giving up on life. However, for Stoic philosophers, letting go is the highest expression of wisdom and freedom. How do the Stoics view things? One of the core foundations of Stoicism is the distinction between two categories. 1. What you can control. Your actions, your thoughts and judgments, your reactions to situations. The values you choose to live by. 1. Bilingual, what you cannot control. Other people's emotions, weather, illness and accidents, death, when opportunities arise, outcomes. Epictetus wrote, "Some things are up to us and some are not. If you think things that are not yours are yours, you will be disturbed, anxious, and unhappy." This is not a dry philosophy. It is a practical tool for life. We often suffer not because of what happens, but because we want it to happen differently. Marcus Aurelius and the Art of Acceptance. Marcus Aurelius maintained a strange calmness as an emperor living amid wars and conspiracies. In his Meditations, he wrote, "Accept what happens as if you had chosen it." This quote is not easy to digest. How can we choose illness, loss, or failure? But Marcus was not speaking of literal choice. He was referring to mindset. If you cannot change something, choose your attitude toward it. Instead of resisting reality, accompany it. Instead of reacting hastily, observe and respond consciously. Seneca and the perspective on time. Seneca, one of the sharpest Stoic writers, once warned, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting time." He emphasized that life is not short because of time, but because we spend too much energy on things we cannot control. When you try to please others, control their emotions, change the past, or demand instant results, you are draining your precious life energy. Seneca called this spiritual slavery under the illusion of active living. Reverse thinking. Letting go is mastery. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be indifferent. It teaches you that if you control the right things, you no longer need to control everything. Examples. Instead of trying to change your partner, you adjust your expectations. Instead of forcing success to arrive early, you focus on growing yourself daily. Instead of worrying about the future, you live fully in the present moment. When you do that, you attract the right things without desperately chasing them. Practice. Daily Stoic questions. To apply Stoic thinking to the art of letting go, start by asking yourself every morning. 1. What might happen today? 2. What do I control in that situation? How will I choose to respond if it does? These questions help you train your mind to act consciously rather than react impulsively. You don't need to avoid life. Engage more intelligently. Letting go is not weakness, it is understanding. You see, Stoicism doesn't deny pain nor run from challenges. It teaches us one thing. Life isn't about how much you control, but how you respond to what you can't. Letting go isn't collapsing. Letting go is standing up and saying, "I can't force this to go my way, but I can master myself through it." And that is true freedom. Summary of Part 2. Stoic philosophy helps us separate what we can and cannot control. Marcus teaches a mindset of receiving life instead of resisting it. Epictetus emphasized that freedom comes from letting go of what doesn't belong to us. Seneca warns us against wasting time on the uncontrollable. Letting go of the right things is the highest form of control. When you act with awareness, you no longer need to force life. The Stoic philosophy, the power of letting go at the right place. Part 3. The 7 principles of Stoic letting go. Now that we understand control is not real power and that Stoic sages taught how to live mindfully amidst the chaos, it's time to make letting go concrete. Here are 7 principles, not just for understanding, but for living lighter, stronger, and more peacefully. Principle 1. Let go of expectations. Return to the process. Expectations are the root of suffering. We expect our partner to understand, our boss to validate us, and life to be fair. When reality doesn't match, we suffer. Not because it's bad, but because it's different from what we wanted. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it happens to you, nature has allowed it. so receive it as part of the flow. Instead of expecting, focus on the process. Am I acting rightly each day? What values am I living by? What am I improving? Letting go of expectation opens space to live fully in the present. Principle 2. Master your mindset because you can't master the world. Epictetus once said, "You cannot control circumstances, but you can control your thoughts. And when you do, you are free." Mindset is the root. How you think is how you live. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and pressure, you'll feel like the world is against you. But if you train the mind through meditation, journaling, and daily reminders, I control my thoughts. I choose wise responses. I am not a victim. Then you begin to live like a true Stoic. Principle 3. Let go of time. Trust the rhythm of the universe. In modern society, everyone is in a rush. Rushing to make money. Rushing to marry. Rushing to succeed before 30. But Seneca warned, nothing great is created hastily. You can't rush spring to come early. You can't force a tree to grow faster. The more you push, the more you obstruct. Letting go of time means, I do the right thing today and trust that what is meant to come will come at the right time. Principle 4. Act from values, not from fear. Actions based on fear always create distorted results. Fear of abandonment creates clinging. Fear of poverty creates blind hustle. Fear of failure creates forced actions. Epictetus said, before you do anything, ask, does this align with the person I want to be? Then act rightly. Not because you want to control the outcome, but because you want to stay true to yourself. Ironically, good results often arrive naturally without force when you act this way. Principle 5. Trust what you can't see. Call it God, the universe, or the intelligence of life's flow. When you let go, stop controlling, stop forcing, you're telling life, I trust you. I trust that everything happens for a reason. I will do my part, the rest I leave to you. Trust is not blind. It is the mark of a steady mind that doesn't need to hold everything in its hands. Principle 6. Live with an energy of abundance, Epictetus emphasized. Wealth is not having much, but needing little. When you live with a scarcity mindset, you act like someone who is always fighting for affection, fighting for opportunities, fighting for recognition. But when you live from fullness, you emit calm, grounded energy. Others want to be around you, work with you, and offer opportunities. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means I act from a place of already being enough. Principle 7. Act fully, then let go. Like a farmer planting seeds, they do their part. Choose good seeds, prepare the soil, and water diligently. Then they don't dig daily to check if it's sprouting. They release, they trust, they wait. Seneca said, effort and patience achieve more than force and anxiety. You must act rightly, but you must also know when to let go. Because results are never entirely in your hands, but the journey always is. A made summary of Part 3, Stoic Action. Stoic thinking is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life, where each principle is a new way to respond to life. Instead of chasing results, we learn to release expectations and focus on the process, because the journey is where we truly live. Instead of letting the mind spiral into chaos, we master our thoughts and nurture conscious, calm thinking. Instead of rushing success or pressuring ourselves to meet some timeline, we begin to let go of time and trust in life's natural rhythm, like spring arriving precisely when it's ready. Instead of acting out of fear of failure or being left behind, we learn to act from values and our true nature. That makes our actions powerful and grounded. Instead of living in doubt and overthinking, we choose to trust what we can't yet see, trusting that something wiser is in motion, and we can rest easy knowing we've done our part. Instead of being driven by lack, always feeling not enough, too late, or unprepared, we learn to live with fullness, gratitude, and presence in even the smallest moments. And finally, instead of forcing outcomes and exhausting ourselves, we learn to act wholeheartedly, then release, allowing life to take over, just like the farmer who plants and trusts the harvest will come. When deeply lived, these principles will lighten your life and strengthen you, because true strength is not in holding on, it's in knowing when to let go. This third part is the heart of it all, where knowledge becomes action and understanding becomes transformation. If this resonates with you, don't go anywhere. In part 4, you'll witness a real story, an illustration of how letting go changed a life. Part 5, Lessons from Letting Go and the Power of Purposeful Surrender. Grace's story is a wake-up call for many, not because she let go, but because she dared to do what most of us avoid. Trust the flow of life instead of trying to control it. And if you're still wondering, if I let go, how do I know I'm on the right path? If I stop clinging, do I still have goals? The answer is yes, but you're no longer a slave to them. Letting go is not giving up, it's repositioning yourself in life. You don't abandon your dreams, you let go of the obsession to reach them now. You don't stop taking action, you shift from forcing to aligned action. You don't ignore emotions, you choose not to let them drive your entire life. Seneca once wrote, "A happy person is not someone who has everything go their way, but someone who learns to want what is happening." This may not be easy to accept immediately, but it is the core of wise living. Happiness doesn't belong to those who have more. It belongs to those who respond better to what happens. Relaxed, but not aimless. Some fear letting go, thinking it leads to passivity, but in reality, Stoicism teaches act decisively on what's in your control. Let go without regret of what is not. This is purposeful surrender, like a skilled rower who knows when to row and let the current carry them. You're not drifting, you know who you are and what you want, and accept that nothing is within your reach. Letting go returns energy to what truly matters. Imagine waking up each day with a limited amount of mental energy. If you spend 80% of it worrying about others' opinions, obsessing over outcomes, resisting reality, checking your phone 50 times, just left for love, creativity, self-improvement, deep connection. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on things. It means choosing what's truly worth your energy. Epictetus once emphasized, "If you want real progress, be content with being seen as foolish by others." Why? You can live from within only when you are no longer enslaved by outside approval. Stepping into a gentler, stronger world. When you live from within, you no longer need others' validation to feel worthy. You no longer need everything to go your way to feel peace. You no longer need results on schedule to find meaning in your path. You begin to trust the process, love yourself, and know, if I live true today, whatever comes is worthwhile. Summary of Part 5. Letting go doesn't mean giving in, living intentionally without clinging to what you can't control. Letting go makes you more mindful, clear, and effective. Happiness doesn't come from having it all, but from responding wisely to what happens. Purposeful surrender is the art of balance, between action and acceptance, between desire and letting go of expectation. Letting go is an art of living. We've walked a journey together, from the hidden pressure of trying to control everything, to the lightness and freedom of knowing when and what to release. If something in this touches you, perhaps you're at the right moment for your shift. A slight shift in thinking and change your whole life. Instead of asking, how can I make everything go how I want? Ask, what can I do today with my best attitude? Instead of thinking, I must succeed quickly, I must have this or that, think, I'll stay persistent and let life unfold when the time is right. Instead of pushing others to understand, love, or recognize you, return to yourself, live truthfully, and let that authenticity attract the right things. You don't need to chase life. Slow down, do your part, and let the rest belong to nature. Letting go isn't the end, it's the beginning. When you let go, you begin to see yourself more clearly. You feel life more deeply. You stress less and act more effectively. You enter a flow state where things find you at the right time, in the right way. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do what needs to be done and let what happens, happen." That's all. And yet it's the wisdom of 1,000 years. Ask yourself right now, what am I trying to control that I don't need to? What would change if I relaxed? Am I living from within or being pulled by everything outside? If this video resonated with you, there's a good chance it will touch someone struggling with anxiety, exhaustion, or a sense of helplessness. Share this video with a friend. Just one small act might brighten a confused and weary soul. Leave a comment below, what are you letting go of? And how does it feel? If you want to keep exploring profound life lessons through Stoic philosophy, subscribe to Sovereign Stoic now. Here you'll always find inner strength amidst a chaotic world. Sovereign Stoic exists to remind you. You don't need to control everything. You only need to control yourself. And that is enough. Farewell and start living lighter from today. Thank you for staying with us until the end of the video. That alone shows you're someone ready for transformation. Live with mindfulness. Let go not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to trust life. See you in the following video on Sovereign Stoic, where resilient minds are forged daily.